Hey everyone, this is your weekly Precision Markets office hours call with Precision Markets Coach Brian. We host these every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 o'clock UTC -7. And the purpose of these calls is to be able to allow you to be able to answer any questions that you may have regarding anything kind of trading wise, where it be concepts you want us to share, trades you want us to review, markets you want to review, or just anything, so that we can be able to kind of go in depth to things that you're learning within the chat, within the group. Whenever you get a chance, log your questions within the chat box within Zoom. I'll answer them in the order that received, and we'll go from there. How was y'all's trading day today, guys?
Mine was cool. I could have did better. I was on GU. I could have really smashed GU, man, but I didn't. I went to Nas, and Nas wasn't even ready for me. So I should have just stayed on GU and put my focus on there, and I really would have killed it, man. But 5.4R, I guess, but I could have ate.
That was a good day. What did GU even do? I don't even look at GU no more.
Yeah, why not?
Because everything was the shit with their economy.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, GU be booming. GU be booming.
Everything was so uncertain with the economy. I don't use it. If I'm gonna trade GU, I'm either trade GU or EU.
Excuse me?
I said if I'm gonna trade GU, it's either GU or AU. I only pick one of the two.
Oh,
I don't trade no more than two correlations, and I'm always going to trade EU. It seems like, so maybe I might swap out. GU and AU move closer than EU and GU, but EU and GU tend to move right in London.
Oh, okay. So you trade two correlations? That's what you do?
Max. I don't trade no more than two correlations at a time, because if not, you just asking for wreckage when news happens. So
exactly. Yeah, my pairs now are NAS, GU, AU, and EU. But I really like NAS, GU, and AU.
yeah, no. I like GU. GU is actually one of my favorite pairs, but I wasn't going to trade anything until their economy kind of got to a point where things were a little bit more understood. So
it moves like an indice. Like it moves. It's just like GJ. Like it really moved, but the spread is lower than obviously GJ and Nas. So it's like I know you'll capitalize off it real good.
yeah, EU is not a trending pair. EU is a consolidating pair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why it's my least one out of them. My EU is my least one.
Yeah, I used to try to do GU over EU, but whenever they started going into weird stuff with how they're going to handle inflations and all that, that's when I stepped away from GU. So that I would come back when the ship gets right. And it looks like I haven't looked at it in so long. It looks like it has. I can see.
It be moving, man.
Yeah, no, it's you got to find pairs to have high volatility to really make the most of a trending market. So
well, that's one of them.
Yeah, AU is like that too.
Yeah, that's why I got that second.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you barely pull 1 hour POIs, huh?
No, I pull based upon what I see on the market.
Okay.
It's not every day that I pull 1 hour POIs.
Okay. And 1 hour POIs, you still looking for a 1 minute chalk in there?
Yeah, no, it doesn't make a difference on that. That's always going to be the same.
Okay. Did you trade today?
Nah, there wasn't nothing I saw that met any of my rules. So I played around. I played around with a US 30 trade that did like 30R, but I was just playing around. So I only think I was only sent to like showed like two people. I think I showed Marco and somebody else. But yeah, I had a play around test trade that went for 30R on US 30. I was
a buy or what? Or buy or sell?
Sell. I was dicking around on on my demo account since I wasn't going to take any trades today because I didn't see anything that looked all that interesting from a market movement standpoint.
Yeah, I see Nas. I guess I know they run the same Nas and US30, but yeah, that's that. I thought it was buys today for Nas. I thought it was buys, but it ended up being sales.
No, it wasn't a buy because in the market, you got to remember the market pulls back. So the market went way too far up. That's why I took sales. My bias was to buy, but it never came to a spot where I could buy. So I knew to put in a sell trade until it got to the point where I could actually buy. And so I literally did. And then I think my buy trade on US30 is now up. It's up 5R now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I make money on both ways on the move, but it's not exactly something I like doing because it's not something it's not even really part of my trading plan. So it doesn't make sense to go do.
Yeah, can you show your trade from yesterday?
Which one? Oh, I didn't share with y'all both of them. Okay, AUD USD. Yeah. No, I'm not going to show that one because it was a news trade. I don't advocate for y'all taking trades before news.
Oh, 9R. Oh yeah, I was taking that one. I was okay. Yeah.
Sorry,
What
guys.
about not okay? You probably showed that one already.
Which one?
1129 Nasdaq. Did you show that one already?
1129 Nasdaq. What was that?
1129 is the 1129. What day is that? Let me see.
That was Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know if we showed that.
I thought I did on Tuesday. I'll show it again. Guys, I have amnesia, so I take a trade. As soon as I take it, I forget about it. I can't remember what's been done. I don't even count the amount of hours that I do in a week. That tells you how much I care.
I'm trying to get like you. That's it.
I care more about consistency. The only thing that matters is, am I following my rules? If I'm not following my rules, then that's the problem. So this was the 29th. It was right here with this candle. Y'all can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my thoughts at the time was that the market would come here and pull back a little bit before taking off. I wasn't really even factoring news, but it didn't matter. So that was my mindset going into this. So that's why I had a higher time frame directional bias of going down, because I was expecting market structure to do something like this and take off. Knew we were in the corrective phase. The market had swept this, took out this low. Yeah, because we talked about this when we talked about the POI. I remember this now.
We did.
So it was a 1 hour. This was a whole 1 hour POI that it tapped into that I could have used. I ended up using the 15-minute just because of personal preference. I like 15-minute. No other reasons behind that. So price ended up showing me a strong push down. It moved sideways. And here was an area I was watching. I was expecting for it to give me some issue, which it did. Starting from right here. Oh, please don't tell me. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I ended up coming down to, I can't remember what time period I used. Ends up tapping back into it. I got a strong move here on my lower time frame, and I took my entry. I was expecting for it to break through this zone because it gave me at least 1, 2, 3 taps, which it did. It breaks.
3 taps of what? Of which structure you said?
It tapped into this peak zone.
To that one, okay.
So I was expecting for it to break through after this, which it did. And then my target was real simple. Going back to the 1 hour time frame, my target was at the end of this, which was the low. So it hit that. I took my profit. Price continued on. I could have held the trade, but I chose not to.
So on the 1 minute time frame, where would you have entered?
That's where I entered.
No, on the 1 minute. No, but I know you entered on the lower time frame, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So where would you have entered on the 1 minute? The same place?
Let me see. Yeah, I would have entered at the end of this candle.
At the end of that candle. Okay. Man, the spread on Nas been killing me lately. It's so weird on FTMO.
They're probably using a bad broker on their back end.
Yeah, the one on my Forex funds, and like it's very better. But obviously I'm doing a demo, so
That could be why too, because I don't see that on my funded account. Like, or I've never paid attention to it ever.
spread is trash.
If you do tight, I guess if you do tight trades, you have to pay attention to the spread. But my stop losses are so generous, I don't think.
Man, so they're tight but so generous because you enter on a small time frame.
Well, they're not tight. I don't do tight stop losses. So
11, yeah, that's pretty tight to some people. But you know, you're an expert.
well, it's tight relative to time frame, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So in this time frame where a stop loss is supposed to be where your trade is no longer valid.
Uh-huh.
That's the whole point of a stop loss.
Okay.
So the point of my trade not being no longer valid is at the high of this yellow box.
Mm-hmm.
If it passes this, then my trade idea was no longer valid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at that compared to what my entry is, that distance is only 41 points or 4.1 points. My stop loss is 11.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty damn generous.
Exactly.
But most people trade off M15, so they see a stop loss like this, they think you're going to fail. Or Marco and I's favorite hobby, going into these Facebook groups where they talk about Forex traders. You post anything with a stop loss, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to blow your account. You're going to blow your account." It's like, no, you don't even know about my setup. The setup determines what the stop loss should be. I'm not always going around using a 5-pip stop loss. Some people do that, and that's, the way that they're able to, make things work for them. But no, that's not what I do, because that makes no sense. For the style trading that I'm doing. No.
Well, so, I need to follow suit.
Just people get all kinds of they get so excited about the stop loss. Stop loss never determine if you win a trade or not. It determines if you get hit early. Yeah, you could put a 1.01 lot and make a 500 pip stop loss. You'll probably never get hit, but you probably won't make that much money either.
So on the 15-minute POIs, all you're looking is for. I wish you could show that AU. Can you show that the AUD trade like a disclaimer? I know.
No, sorry, bro. Y'all get the most y'all got is what I even showed on Discord, because I really don't want y'all going mimic, and people follow what you do more than they follow what you say. So I see y'all do things, I'm just like, I should have never shown that. Because y'all take it and run with it. I love your enthusiasm, but you really should not trade news, because news is a gamble. There's no guarantee. Like, even me doing it is breaking my rules. Half time I do it for fun.
But was that necessarily news? Because it was before news.
My rules are I don't take a trade before 1 hour before any red folder news. So if I'm taking trades 3 minutes before the news, that's even worse.
Oh wow. Okay. Good. One hour red folder news. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. But I see, news is, you're a fundamental guy as well. So I see sometimes you like, predict the news and you'll be in a trade.
Well, I just kind of have an idea.
Yeah.
That goes back to my stock trading days. This is how I used to trade stocks. You guess what you sell the rumors, you buy you buy the rumors, you sell the news. So I would just have an idea of what's going to happen before it's going to happen, because I would pull enough data points to say, all right, I have I have a higher possibility of this happening than it does loss. Forex don't really work the same as stocks. It's not really, you should not do that. But it's an old stock habit that I have. That's why I do it. I look at different news sources. I look at different economic events. I make an educated decision on which way I think the market will go, and I anticipate what kind of reaction I'll get. Sometimes the news falls flat. Sometimes it does well. Y'all have seen me take some trades before news, and I tend to do well, right? But there are times where I've done it where it just does not work out, and you have to go deeper into fundamentals to really get to that point of consistency. But that's also a thing that is very subjective when it comes to trading too, because you really don't know what's going to happen. You don't know which one will really take the most hit. Like today and this whole week hasn't really been, I would say, all that surprising, because pretty much PCE dropped. When PCE dropped, what happened with the market? It went up. Now, the indices ended up coming back down today. Well, they had to, because they had made such a strong move yesterday. But they also don't have to. They also could have kept going up. So it's all a gamble. Like, news doesn't move the market in a consistent manner. It moves it for a very short jolt. You can try catching it, but that's like also catching a falling knife. But there's certain times when news happens and it changes the trajectory of where you're going. So when people know inflation rates are coming down, they change the whole bias of the currency, because that makes a fundamental difference. So this week I was expecting for price to go upwards, but I was expecting for it to pull down first before it went upwards from a technical perspective. But from an economics perspective, every news event has made sense, except for kind of what happened after PCE today, except for, I guess, the rallies on like US 30 decided to die. Then NASDAQ decided to finally pull back, although it pulled back faster than I could get to my spot where I want to trade it from, and then take off. So, I mean, all these things tend to make sense from an economics perspective once you dig deeper into it. So, but it's not one of those things I'm going to tell you habitually to go do unless you're in South Africa, because they tend to risk the entire accounts over news or market opens. And that there's a style of trading, but I'm not going to tell you that style, one, because it's not really the best. I don't think it's going to give you the most consistent results. And two, you're going to blow a lot of money before you get it. But hey, it's a lifestyle for some people. I see it. But then Instagram is a highlight reel for losers. So what I mean by that statement is that most people are failing posting things that they look like they're winning, but they don't show all of the losses that they're taking. So what you see is what it looks like is, they're constantly winning. So.
Yeah. I seen, it was the reason I took that AU trade, the one that you took before news, but obviously I didn't get it right, but you got it right. It's because you took an EU trade on you took an EU trade on on the 28th of November, and it was bullish like crazy. And I guess it just did a 15-minute chalk, and you just took a sell. It took you out, but I know you could have had like 30 yard. So that's what made me take that AU trade. Like, it was surprising how bullish that pair was, and it did a simple 15-minute chalk, and you sold. And I never knew that. That you did that. Like, that was pretty cool to me. And it went like 29R, but it took you out.
Which one?
It was on the 29th. It was on the no the 28th of November.
The 8th?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. Oh, yeah, that one.
Can you pull up your chart, please, and on EU for that day?
Yeah, I'm trying. Hold on one second. I'm taking a look at it myself because I don't remember. Oh, this one that happened. Yeah. Hold on one second. Where's the one I'm not using? Second, guys. Doing a little homework stuff here. Let me clean up my chart. Monday the 28th. Oh, I gotta go farther back. Oh, up here. Yeah. It was right here. It was this one. Yeah, it was this. Yeah, I was playing the H1 pullback. That's why I knew to take it.
You say you was playing the H1 pullback?
Uh-huh. God, man. All right, so despicable. Okay. Second. Let me get my setup the way I want to see it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So that was this candle right here. Okay. So this is what the day had looked like. It's the same thing, bro. It's always the same thing every time. My anticipation was that the market was going to make a move like this, probably come into this demand zone on the daily. Everything I do is market structure. They're like, it's literally the secret to everything. So I'm watching this. Price jumped up high, but I mean, structure-wise, it had, all it did was it made a chalk, but it didn't give me a reason why I should respect it. Because the market did move like this on the 1 hour. So you get this large jump higher. And for me, that wasn't. Hey, what's up, Peachy? So
Yo,
at this point, structure-wise, the 1 hour had jumped up. All I was looking for was a structure on 15. 1 hour didn't give me the move I was looking for. So I went to 15. And 15 started showing me that its structure and the order flow had changed. Order flow was going like this on M15.
What 1 hour move you were looking for?
I'm looking at the structure. The order flow changed. So that was feel like this, right? Order flow was showing that it was going downwards. It makes this strong move upwards. I don't see a reason why. There was no catalyst for it for me on the higher time frame. There wasn't no demand zone. There wasn't no price reversal zone that I was looking for. There wasn't no CPB. So why the hell did price to shoot up? Like, that's a fake move. Like, there's no reason for that to happen that I could think of. So I don't have an order flow reason to be taking trades off of H1. So I just drop down to M15. And whatever happens here on H1, I'm going to see a trend on M15 if they're not at the same point. That's why I don't look at every time frame. I look at time frames that a leg on one time frame should equal an order flow on another time frame. I don't go to every time frame. I only have a handful that I picked. You can see them up in the top left. So me knowing that, all right, this leg there should be a bearish leg on H1 because it should pull back. I'm not gonna say it has to. You don't have to do anything. It should pull back. I know if it's going to pull back, I'm going to catch the order flow on M15. M15 showed me the order flow I was looking for. The only problem was I just got taken out because I entered as momentum was coming, which was from an M1 standpoint, because I did on a lower time frame here. And it goes up some R, I get taken out. I could have re-entered. I didn't care. And price ended up dropping. All because I just was looking at structure. Like everything I just did was all about structure, which can go down to order flow or it can go to trend. There's many different ways to look at it. But everything I just did was all based up on just understanding structure concepts.
So you enter off the zone. Yes, that was fine. So you didn't enter inside your M15 zone.
Yeah, I did. I didn't enter directly inside of it, but I directly entered in the cause that pushed it down. Because if you look at the M15 candle, I was still inside the candle where it first pushed off.
Yes. Okay.
Like literally everything I do, from higher time frame to picking POIs to entries, has to do with structure. It is at every step in the stage. Like that's the one thing I have to do. If I don't get anything right, I have to get structure right. If I don't get structure right, I don't get the entire trade right. Period. Like it's nothing magical. It's just structure.
Yeah. So you were basically playing the pullback on H1. And then the M15, it has to chop for you though, obviously, right?
No, all M15 has to do is show me that it's showing that it's making movements towards the directional bias that I have.
Yeah, but it was an uptrend, so it chopped, right? Like on the 15-minute.
They'd already did it chop. I didn't even look at that. Hold on a second. Yeah, it sure did. So let me first of all, let me change this color. So yeah, it had already chopped right there. And this was a second push. So at least I know that it was a stronger order flow movement downwards. So
yeah, I was just thinking, like, if something is so bullish like that, I'll be looking for a demand zone to take a buy off of. So man, that's when I asked you, like, you took a sell or a buy. He's like, I took a sell, and it could have went 29R. It kind of surprised me because all it did was it was a bullish move. Then it did a 15-minute chop, and you got the POI from there, and you entered. I mean, I never seen that one before.
But why? Why was there a bullish move? What was the bullish move in response to? What did it react off of? Nothing.
Yeah.
That's the questions you have to ask yourself. Like the market, I follow a very objective system, meaning everything has a rhyme, rule, and reason. So I'm not going to take any move just because I see it move. I'm going to take it because it makes sense. There are times when the market wants to make pullbacks. The market will spike up. Has my bias changed? Have I gotten a reason for a change? No, it hasn't. My bias was all day that I was going to take sales. So even though it jumped with this big bullish move, I don't give a damn. I still don't have a reason for it changing. Like you can't just be jumping because you see market moves, right? Like you gotta have, like if you want to trade an objective system, you have to have a reason. Emotionally, if I had more of a subjective system, I probably would have been looking for buys. But the fundamental reason I got in the beginning of the day was that I was expecting for the market to make some type of pullback because it already made a strong move upward from the last week. We had the holidays. I don't know why it pulled back. And I don't have a catalyst. I don't have a demand zone, nothing that I could think of it reacted to. And so I ended up taking it. And then if you look, for the next 2 days, it did drop. Like the whole goal of trading is not to predict where a price is going to go. You just have to know, is there a higher probability that it's going to go down or up? And I thought the highest probability at that moment was for it to go down. And I had reasons to believe that. Somebody had a reason for it to go up. Somebody had a reason for it to go down. But at the end of the day, the most key thing I think you need is those reasons. I mean, that barely took me out. Oh,
so yeah, so it was a sell, but so the reason was you had it was no explanation for this big old bullish move. So that was your explanation. It didn't have a reason for this big bullish move. So you didn't care about it.
I didn't have a catalyst for me to change when I started my day, my whole bias was sales. There was nothing that convinced me to change otherwise.
Got it.
Like just because the market moves, that doesn't change my thought process. And you also have to keep in mind, we were in consolidation. Price goes up to make this move, it comes down, it taps in the same area, probably would go down, boom. So we have one touch here, two touches in the low, one touch to the high. So I'm looking at this big old reaction like, oh, it just goes up. And I see that on the F15, I'm getting order flow change. I have reason to know that, all right, price is more likely going to go down. So everything I do has a reason. I don't do anything without a reason because I don't have the trust that my gut's going to tell me what to do in trading.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting my direction right. I got to get my entries better now. I need a solid, like, what am I going to enter on regardless? I need that.
Yeah, I really recommend guys keeping it objective because when you have your reasons, you don't worry about every flow and change and stuff like that. So that's really what's going to help you to be able to make good decisions when it comes to your trading. So
can I show you my Nas trade today?
yeah, sure. Go ahead, brother. You should be able to share your screen. Let me know if you can't.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think my reasoning was all off. But so I obviously thought today was buys. I thought today it was going to continue bullish, but it had bearish order flow right here. So it broke. Yeah, I already know what I did wrong. So it obviously it broke this unconfirmed bullish, I guess. And so this was my high. This is the daily high, I believe I did. This is this blue line. Yeah, it was this one right here. But And this is like the other high. So it passed it. So I just really thought it was going to be. I thought once it passed this and came down, and with this rejection, with this 15-minute bullish rejection, I thought it was going to keep going up. Just because it passed this, because I thought the move was super bullish. So I know you probably don't.
Hover over that candle again. Hover over the bullish candle that broke the high.
This one or
no, the previous one. That
this
one.
one?
You know why that candle moved, right?
I don't know why this kind of moved. What time?
That's the 7. That was the 5:30 a.m. news. That's not a true sign of strength. That's when that was the announcement for what news was it, Marco?
Jobless claims. Yes.
And then you had after that, one, take off a red folder. Please don't ever focus just on red folder because that's not enough.
Excuse me. This is the orange one too.
Yeah, do all of them. There's a reason why. It's not just looking at the folders for the news. One, when you miss the grays, you miss the holidays. So now you don't know when the bank holidays happen, you're trading, and next you know there's no momentum, you take losses. Secondly, it depends on the times that we're in. So the reason why you keep up all this other stuff, right? At 5:30, you had core PCE, which is the core reason how the Fed looks at inflation. So everybody else looks at price consumer index. The Fed looks at personal consumption expenditures, which is core PC, right? Some days you're going to find that the yellow news, which is low, is going to have more of an impact. Why? Because it depends on the times that we're in. Right now, everybody's hyper-focused in inflation. 2 years ago, everybody was hyper-focused on job growth. Years before that, it depends on what stage of the economy it's in. That's why fundamentals is much more than reading some numbers on the page. So one, your chart doesn't even have any of the news events. Right-click on your chart. Go to settings. Go to appearance on the left. Click. Oh, no, that's not it. Go to trading. Is it on there? No, status.
I'll put it on later. That's fine.
I'm trying to remember where it's at. But if you have those news there, that's the reason why I also create the thing in Discord, the channel for news. That way, if you don't have news on your chart, you can get a notification from Discord when the news is happening. So that way you don't get caught. That's the whole reason for that candle. So knowing that candle was pumped by news now, that would change my look at that. Say, okay, it shot up because of that. It may not have the momentum to keep going upward.
Yeah, because this is obviously bullish. I mean, this is obviously bearish order flow. So, but obviously, this was just a news candle, I guess, right?
Yeah, but you're getting caught up in the smaller picture, bro. Go to the daily.
Daily, I thought it was buys. I thought we were going up.
Look at where the daily's rejecting.
Where this one, or this supply zone, or just the top one right here.
It's rejected that high. But look at how much that last candle moved.
Look how much this candle moved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was all based off of what?
News yesterday.
Exactly. So the market is going, that move right there. I mean, look at it. Look at that one move compared to the last week of candles.
Just this one.
No, look at that green candle, right? Yesterday's move. Now look at the candles for the last 7 days.
Small.
There's not no momentum in the market, bro.
Uh-huh.
So when you go down to M15 and you look at it, you got to keep in mind the bigger picture. Bigger picture always is what's going to help you, right? So go back to M15. The reason why you're looking at a right click on your chart. Actually, you can click auto on the bottom right, and that'll fix your chart scales. You don't have to do the scrolling yourself. All of this move right here all this move right here is corrective action compared to an impulsive move going upward. It's not, yeah, it's bearish order flow, but at the same time, it's not really going that much farther because the bulls do want to enter, right? You get this move that comes up from this, it's got to pull back. But then again, this was all news because that news candle is bigger than when you look at almost all these other candles on the way going up. So you don't know. Probably tapped into this demand zone that you had because now structurally, it did make a chalk, right? But I really want to see it pull back into here, which did, but there's no telling what happens when it gets to here. But if you expect the momentum to continue, you also got to remember where we're at. This week is the first week of the month. That means we have NFP tomorrow. That means that the shit is getting shook everywhere. So every day we're being hit by news since, Wednesday and such like that. So you got to keep, it's more than just looking at one aspect of it. You got to keep the big picture, the small picture, and the fundamental picture all in mind when you're taking your trade opportunities and ideas. Today didn't show that there was very much in a momentum. The only momentum you get in the market really was that, imbalanced candle that came from news. And you get another news reaction as well, too, because that's what also sent the market up. So you're taking trades during news, you're going to get hit.
I took this one, and obviously this one is a 6:30 a.m. candle. I keep getting on that one.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying it's the market open, which that's also a false sense of volume. So it'll either temporarily reverse a move or continue a move, but you don't know either. And today's one of those days where you just don't really have, you don't have much momentum on either side, right? You get shook out at 7:30 by core PCE and unemployment claims. Then you have the Fed member Bowman speaking at 8:30. That's not on your red folder news, but anytime a Fed member talks about inflation or the economy, it doesn't matter if it's red, yellow, or orange folder. It's going to cause some type of fundamental move in the market. Then you have NASDAQ's open, and then you have the U.S. final manufacturing PMI, which you don't have in your chart because it was yellow folder, not red. So that also causes a movement because that helps people to know, are we growing as an economy or not? And then finally at 7 o'clock a.m., you have the ISM manufacturing PMI, which is red folder. So you literally just enter trades during an entire news cycle. Make sense?
It doesn't make sense, but yeah, it makes sense. And I shouldn't have done it, but yeah, it makes sense.
That's the point I'm getting at. So that's why I say you got to keep all the things in mind. Like between 5:30 a.m. your time and 7 o'clock, there was a bunch of news. And if you look at the candles don't tell you that they wanted to make a decision. You have news candle, pullback, indecision, market open, news candle.
Indices wasn't a good day for indices.
What a really good day for trading. The market, I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. The market makes their decisions based upon these fundamental reports. You may not see it every day, but sometimes these reports cause spikes. Other times, these news reports cause reversals and reverses entire directions. I don't care if you believe in algo. I don't care if you believe in manual traders. We are pitting an entire economies or entire economies one against another's. So what that means basically, guys, is that every decision that's being made has to have some basis. The algos don't just trade because they see orders. They trade because it meets fundamental price levels, and they have a sense of they take into account different mathematical equations. So they'll look at and say, all right, inflation is at this number, and then the GDP is growing at this rate. We believe the value of the United States currency is this. NASDAQ, when you trade NASDAQ, you're looking at the top 100 tech companies. So right now, if inflation goes down, that's good for tech. If you look at job unemployment going up, that's actually good for tech because of the workers, that it cuts costs. If you look at earnings and GDP goes up, that's great for tech. So it's keeping all those things in mind, right? So we just had yesterday where we had What was the numbers we had yesterday? I forgot even what the news was. What was yesterday's news? Prelim GDP and job openings. So number of job openings are still high. That's great for the economy because that means there's more opportunities. Fed speaks and say they're going to lower interest rates. That's great for companies because that means that they're able to borrow money at cheaper prices. ADP, non-employment claims, there was change. That was bad for the economy. But GDP actually came in higher than expected. That means it's great. That's why NASDAQ and indices take off. You come to today, PCE comes lower. That's great because that means that the costs are cutting down. That means and companies can make more money. That's why it shoots up. And then ISM manufacturing comes in, and it actually came in lower in case that there's contraction. So that wasn't exactly good news, but the final manufacturing PMI actually came in greater than what was expected. So that's what sent the market up. And then the ISM manufacturing PMI is what sent it back down. That's why you probably got hit on your trade. So it's just the fundamentals is much more than counting numbers. It's understanding what is the meaningfulness of everything. What is the impact? But this is why I tell you don't trade news. Not until you got a real deep understanding of how does economics play, because all these things balance out each other. So like I'm not just counting numbers when I look at fundamentals. I'm saying if the numbers come in, what impact does it really have on the overall picture of how I would view the economy, or how I would view the top 100 tech companies, or how I would view the top 30 companies, or how I view gold as a commodity that we exchange as a value, as a traded value. Like, what impact does it have on it? That's the question.
So the core PC was obviously bad for USD.
No, it was bad for the dollar. It was good for companies.
Bad for the dollar, good for companies.
Everything's all relative.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we want inflation to come down. We want prices to come down. Yeah. That's counterculture to what companies need. But right now, inflation is at such a high number that people can't afford the cost of goods and services. So for businesses to make more money, they need to make more profits. They need to cut down prices. So like all of this has a relativity factor as to the meaningful of all this. So
got it. Tomorrow's news too. All the news.
Tomorrow we got NFP, man. So
will you be trading or after?
Man, we'll see.
Mm.
Only going to trade what makes sense. Like I don't. There are certain days like today. I knew after yesterday's big jump, there probably wouldn't be a trade opportunity if the market was waiting for more news.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with that, guys, I'm gonna leave y'all to Friday's trades. We're in the first days of December. This is going to be the last month of 2022, which means it's going to be the best month for y'all yet. But keep it in mind, guys, that make sure your trades go across your trading plan and, all of the things that you have, so that you're not taking trades where you're saying, oh, I don't recognize what I did and that, this, that, and the other. Tomorrow is going to have NFP. NFP is probably going to come in lower than expected based upon what we saw on Wednesday. So probably the dollar is going to be bullish. But do understand, like before these big news events, the market tends to like to move sideways because they like to wait to see the impact of the event. If the market shows its hand before, you'll know. But at the end of the day, you're looking at your analysis and then also taking into what potentially happened fundamentals. So I expect the indices to shoot up even more. I expect Euro, AU, all those to shoot up. GU probably will shoot up. UJ will probably come down. But it doesn't mean just hop in the trade for that reason. Give yourself the actual reasons to enter the trades, right? follow what's in your plan. We never know what could happen. Anything can change. So that's my lasting parting advice to y'all guys. This recording is going to be up on Teachables. And whenever if you have any other questions, though, I didn't get a chance to answer today, guys, feel free to ask in Discord. Be glad to answer questions, and all the coaches will. But with that, guys, I'm going to leave y'all do, and I will chat with y'all in Discord.
Thank you.
No problem, boss.